Hello and welcome back to Fall in London. Where we left off, we had kind of been railroaded into dealing with this pickpocketing scenario, and we needed to wait for our opportunity cards to fill up. That has now happened, so we can go ahead and see what we can do with all of the pockets here in the Crowds of Spite. Right away, we encounter a constable. This isn't great. A silver mustachioed veteran of a dozen street brawls. We can pass by hurriedly. He's moving at the traditional copper's stroll and his attention is elsewhere. Or we can attempt to pick his pockets. It's what we're here for, after all. I'm gonna say we'll skip this target and try to find one that might be a bit easier. Better safe than sorry. You keep moving until you see the helmet submerged in the crowd. Then we've got the actress. She dazzles, this one. More so on the stage. Up close you can see the you can see the years beginning to work. But that splendid smile still warms you. How close do you want to get? Not too close. She attracts too much attention for your liking. Or close enough to snatch a jewel. Real or paste? Let's try for a jewel. That bracelet, she'll never miss it. The end of the road. You've completed your promenade through the streets of London. What now? Examine your loot. Turn out your pockets, including the hidden ones you prepared in case of difficult encounters with constables and other troubles. The curious treasures of the streets. What did they have in their pocketses? Dispose of your pickpockets trophies. Dispose all of your trophies to proceed. So the items we got for the successful pass, looks like we can just spend various amounts of it here. Up to like 50 for pretty significant items. Or of course, the tiny amount that we have for that tiny run, we can trade in for some deep amber. The individual trades don't take actions. Anytime you see that 0 on the icon, that's also what that means. And we are finished. So with that, we have a bunch of fresh opportunity cards to spend. We will go ahead and burn our way through those. And then maybe I'll spend the last bit of actions that we have today exploring another section of the city. Oh, still don't have enough deep amber, despite the ones we just picked up. Avenge a struggling artist's broken heart. We've done this one before. This time we'll try Teach the Heartbreaker a lesson. He's holding court and singing Mandrate, trading tales of the artist's private affairs for drinks. He's not the problem, his friends are. Looks like it didn't go well. One of them, a scarred docker, sees you coming. As you close on the rake, a meaty hand grabs your shoulder. You are heaved back. You floor the docker with a pair of swift blows, but in the scuffle your target flees. You have to return to the struggling artist empty-handed. The painting is never finished. Well, at least he didn't burn it up this time. Take another shot at it. The color is true. You push through the audience. Their laughter stills. The Heartbreaker's last quip falls like a stone into a well. Your knife flashes. You give him a mark to remind him of his betrayal and leave with your blade darkened. The struggling artist adds the blood to his palette and grins. The heart's own color, he whispers, as his brush thrashes across the canvas. The painting is snapped up by a surface collector, and the artist grants you a cut of the proceeds. We got paid in surface currency. A small hint, if you haven't already, you should sell your prison clothes at the bazaar. You can use the money towards better clothes and equipment, or even a place to live. But first, retrieve a concealed treasure. You'd stored a little something to buy supplies down here, and the jailers never found it. A stone in your shoe. Sell your magnificent diamond at the bazaar and use the proceeds to buy some starting gear. You should sell your prison clothes too. As you explore Fallen London, you'll explore a miscellany of items. You may be wondering which of them you can safely sell. As a rule of thumb, anything you have more than one of is a good choice. You'll probably be able to find more later if you need them. Let's do as it suggests. Some nice clothes may help. We're going to go ahead and sell that bundle of ragged clothing we started with. We're going to go ahead and sell our manacles and our leg irons. Let's sell that magnificent diamond. Oh, he gets a comment. Oh, glorious! I swear there's a little sunlight caught in there. Let's not mention this to Mr. Stone's people, eh? Tiny bit of context, Mr. Stone's would be the master of the bazaar, who would ideally, in its view, collect tax on this trade. I think this is implying that the merchant prefers to do so under the table. Fistful of surface currency, we can go ahead and convert into Nefi currency. I'll keep that prisoner's mask since it has that shadowy boost. I'm going to sell some of the glim, but keep some on hand in case people want to get paid in glim. That leaves us with 15 echoes and 55 pence, which we should be able to go ahead and buy some decent gear with. To start with, alright, we're already wearing that mask, we've got the clothes of Forest City rags. I didn't realize this warm amber was actually a weapon that has persuasive, and we've got our Blemigan. If we go to Caro's Steel, we've got some options. We can get an emergency blunderbuss, which is dangerous. Bottled Oblivion, which is not really advisable as a weapon. A Skyglass Knife, which is significantly more dangerous than the blunderbuss, but not enough so I really want to spend that much money on it. A taxeled walking stick, an ancient hunting rifle. Oh, I can't afford that. So I say we'll go ahead and pick up this blunderbuss. It's cheap. That way we have a nice dangerous weapon if we want it. And call that good for now for weapons. For Maywell's Hattery, we already have one of these prisoners of masks. We could also buy a Mask of the Rose, would be more persuasive. A modish bonnet would be even more persuasive, but also scandalous. A pirate hat for more dangerous. Let's go ahead and pick that up. A sporing bonnet. Looks like a hat with mushrooms on it. That sounds unpleasant. A gay bonnet. We definitely need that. Oh, I can't afford it. Alright, well, we're good for now, and I'm going to have to save up for the gay bonnet. Now, the outfits are useful in that what you want to start doing over time is have an outfit for each type of stat. Hard wearing is where I put my dangerous outfit. And if you don't have anything that penalizes dangerous but doesn't benefit it either, you may as well wear it to make other checks easier. So we're going to wear our pirate hat, that Blemigan, and the emergency blunderbuss for our hard wearing outfit. We'll go ahead and save that. Okay. Sorry, I had to check on one other thing there on my other computer. Then for our evening wear, this is where we want all the persuasive. I'm gonna go ahead and wear the prisoner's mask because I don't necessarily want that bonus suspicion from wearing the pirate's hat. The Forest City rags, the war mammer, and still the Blemigan. Then for the incognito outfit, we want Max Shadowy. Don't really have very many options for that yet. And for the morning outfit, we want maximum watchful. Again, not really too many useful choices yet. Although that Blemigan is great and puts us well ahead of the curve. Okay. City Vices, a tournament of weasels. Need to bring a weasel to be able to do that one, so we'll toss it. Surface Ties, the Seeker. There are whispers behind your back. Someone has been asking impertinent questions about your activities. Someone from the surface. Who is it? It can be a client I helped in the past. You used to find things, and sometimes people. It was sometimes legal, sometimes not. A previous client wants more work from you in the Neath. Do you even do that sort of thing anymore? A villain who you helped to catch. You worked for the law and helped to catch some notorious criminals. One of them is looking for revenge. Or someone who you sent looking for secret knowledge. There are things that must be known. Finally, your plans are coming to fruition. I'm going to go with the client that we helped in the past. Sometimes you remember your old clients. Victims of kidnapping and blackmail, the occasional missing pet of the gentry, eloped daughters, you found them all. Still, the Neath is a very long way to come to find a detective, even one as good as you, isn't it? Slime and Amber, the Rubbery Men. So the Rubbery Men are another one of the factions, kind of like the criminals, the revolutionaries, or the urchins. And they are like alien illithid type people with squid faces. And they're just part of society down here, but unsurprisingly, they are seen with a lot of suspicion and not very well accepted. So, Slime and Amber, the Rubbery Men. Rubbery men are social outcasts. Their physiognomy is distressing, and they lack the wealth necessary for acceptable eccentricity. One approaches you now. My options are to shake hands. The rubbery man lopes toward you, tentacles a-quiver. It extends one rippling handicle. Does it want you to take it? That will gain us a favor, but also increase our scandal. We could give it some amber. It points one gloved hand at the pocket where you're keeping the warm amber, and burbles a mucus-filled question. Does it want it back? Or we can follow the rubbery man and the constable into an alley. Ever since the tentacled entrepreneur ran for mayor, the constables have done more to protect the rubbery men. But the specials don't work for free. You could intercept the protection payment, so that would be to fuck over the rubbery men. I don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and shake hands. Dripsum. You grasp the proffered appendage. The sensation is that of plunging your arm into a bucket of jellied eels. You stand like this in solemn silence for several minutes. Then, as abruptly as it had arrived, the rubbery man unwinds its limb from your wrist and is off down the street at some pace. We now have one favor from the rubbery man, and yes, apparently we are being viewed as sinful now. How terrible. A conversation in the rain. It's rare for the rains from the cavern roof to be anything but gentle, but today some subterranean aquifer must have broken. The gutters overflow. Water pours from the eaves. Rain drips from the hats and noses of 3 furtive figures waiting on the street corner. We can approach them boldly. Are they waiting to speak to you? Approach them furtively. Are they waiting to ambush you? Listen from a distance. Are they talking about you? I say let's go ahead and listen from a distance. Maybe pick something up without really exposing ourselves, because I don't know if I trust these random strangers in the rain. Oh, apparently it's taken a second to think about it. Oh my, that would actually be because our internet just dropped, so I will complete this video shortly once I get that fixed. Okay, we are back online. Sorry about the technical troubles. Our Wi-Fi router is just kinda like that, and there's only so much I can do. Okay, so yes, we are going to listen from a distance. Maybe find out if they're talking about us. Words barely audible through the patter of the rain. They're talking about someone they call the face tailor. The hook-nosed woman seems eager. The frowning top-hatted man is more skeptical. He mentions the ministry. The third, whose face you can't see, growls, "And when we're at our prayers, what then?" A mean little squall comes up, gusting cave-smelling rain spray in your face. Their conversation is lost in the wind. Time to move on. We are now uncovering the secrets of the face tailor. A new arrival, a grubby inquiry. An urchin tugs your sleeve. "Hello, people are wondering how they should address you. Let us know, and we'll pass the word around." This will determine how you are addressed in Fallen London. You'll be able to change this later. Apparently the urchins are the ones who manage this for all of society. So we can go with Sir, Madam, Citizen, Deacon, Lieutenant, Private, Doctor, Lady, Lord, or "Your question is unnecessary. There are individuals roaming the streets of Fallen London with the faces of squid. Squid! Titles are nonsense here. If you enjoy people being unsure how to address you, this option will result in you being addressed as yes, regardless of context. I think let's continue with the gender confusion. It's rather enjoyable. The urchin nods. Alright, Matt, yes, I'll let people know your preference. Thanks. If you wish to choose a different title, or to swap to a new title once you have unlocked it, you will find the option on the Rooftops Urchins opportunity card. That's of course the faction card for the urchins, much like for the revolutionaries and others that we have seen so far. Retrieve a courier's correspondence. It was one of them urchins. She hit me with a sock full of something and made off into the alleys. A sock full of what? Probably best not to ask. We can track the culprit down. You have to head her off before she makes it back to the Flit, the rooftop kingdom where the city's criminals hold sway. Or talk the urchin into giving it back. She can't have got far. She is probably still in earshot. Well, let me check and see if I wear my nicer clothes, if maybe that... Nope, still no better chance. Back to morning. And we will track the culprit down. Got her! You gave chase through a tangle of alleys. Your quarry is a patchwork overcoat flicking around the next corner, but your legs are longer. You catch her as she's about to scramble up the drain pipe of an abandoned factory. She hands over the package and puts up with your lecture. The courier is grateful and rewards you with secrets that she learned by reading things she shouldn't have. Excellent, we got more whispered hints. An elderly lady has hailed the handsome cab you wanted. The poor old soul is shivering in the cold, but you're in a hurry. We can be ruthless. Shove her aside. You've no time to waste on this nonsense. Or be magnanimous. Let her have the cab. You're not in that much of a hurry. She looks frail, and it's a very cold night. Or you're a complicated person. Let her have the cab. Pick her pocket on the way past. Not feeling confident enough to do that, and I don't feel like being a dick to a little old lady, so I say let's let her have the cab. A gummy smile and a "Thank you, my dear." She hoists herself into the cab. She's quite spry, actually. Have you been bilked? Still, she is old, and it is cold. The cab rattles off into the darkness. We have become more magnanimous, And the someone is coming quality that it's showing down there, that's something that a lot of cards will increase, and basically when it fills up, a card will appear that typically has a larger than average reward. Just kind of a background thing that we'll see over time. That is all of our opportunity cards for today. I think that we've spent enough time here among the pickpockets of Spite, and I'd like to see a different part of town before we close out for the night. So I will travel over to Watchmaker's Hill. It's a sinister fungal wilderness by the river. The Department of Menace Eradication subcontracts the adventurous, to deal with the things that slither out of Bugsby's marshes. An observatory atop the hill employs only blind men. Interesting. So this is the area where we would progress our dangerous stat, much like Spite is foreshadowy. We also have a different ambition available. Again, I'll go over those all in their own episode. I will be interested to hear if anyone watching has any opinions about which one they'd like to see. I can pick one, but that's a choice for the character's entire future. That is a very large, overarching quest that will be the ambition we're pursuing, in addition to any of our normal just living life stuff that we're going to be doing. So, here on the hill, making your name, the contract. Rumors race around the hill. A hefty rodent has been menacing the residents. It were the size of a wolf, a costermonger claims. No, a horse, says a grizzled hunter. We can visit the Department of Menace Eradication. They post bounties for serious dangers, an excellent way for a new arrival to begin building a reputation. This will open a new location on the map, and when I hunt a worryingly large rat there, it will unlock further stories in the Dangerous Tree. Or we can visit the Medusa's Head, meet the hill's colorful residents, engage in a frank exchange of opinions, then hit them with a chair leg. It's how they say hello around here. And that'll also open up a new location, the Medusa's Head. That's the bar around here, I guess. So let's visit the Department of Menace Eradication first. The Department of Menace Eradication is found in the Watchmaker's Hill area of the map. And also let's go ahead and visit the Medusa's Head to unlock it. Open the map to go to the Medusa's Head to learn more. Alright, so let's pop over to the Department of Menace Eradication. Neighborhood Watch. A spate of area diving plagues the residents of Moloch Street. Opportunistic burglars slip into homes through the entrances used by the kitchen staff. The residents have pooled their resources to hire a watchman. Watch the crowd. Moloch Street is a busy thoroughfare, but patience is the key. The criminal only has to make one mistake. Alright, let's give it a shot. A needle in a haystack. It's hopeless. Everyone on Moloch Street looks like they're up to something illegal. How are you supposed to pick out the person responsible for this specific crime? Well, we'll try again some other time, I think. Alright, so in the Department of Menace Eradication, the department's chief office is an incongruously handsome 17th century building, though the years and fall have taken their toll. Its white walls have darkened to a shade between nicotine and ivory. It lies between the hill and the river. Step carefully in the entrance hall. The tiles tilt. And looks like we have a couple of things we can look into here. Let's start with find a rat catcher to work with in the marshes. Hardy, leather-faced women and men lurk in the department grounds, waiting for partners or assistants. It's dangerous work. You'll do. They shake hand and agree to a suitable split. This will take you down to the marshes where you can collect a good haul of rats. Bring them back to the Department of Menace Eradication to queue for the bounty. Assist a rat catcher. Better paid than you'd think. The rat catchers of fallen London have been known to use Gatling guns. Watch and wait. Mists drift off the stolen river, out over the glistening expanse of the marshes. Your companion grins at you, not a reassuring sight. We'll nail them when they put their heads out. You did bring a gun, didn't you? Why, yes I did, and actually quite a rather good outfit for dangerous work. Be ready. A good haul. Rat corpses lie littered along the shore of the stolen river like filthy, furry confetti. You string their bodies on a pole. When you have enough, take them back to the Department of Menace Eradication for your bounty. Apparently, even just doing this is scandalous. Back to the department. The road home. You trudge back through the tussocks of tangly grass. Mud splashes your boots. All around you, lights flicker in the marshes as other hunters head for the comfort of hearth and mushroom broth. A song drifts through the evening air, and your companion takes it up. She was only a rat catcher's daughter, but the drownies, they knew her so well. His voice would flake rust off iron. Okay, and we also have the option to follow a chandler to her workshop. A woman's tugging at the sleeves of professionals outside the department. They shrug and turn away. She turns to you. The rat catchers won't help me, she says. They won't touch anything that flies. Okay, well, I don't mind targeting things that fly. She lives and works in the outbuildings of an abandoned steelworks on the west side of Bugsby's Reach. Follow her there. Go carefully. The chandleress complained. A silent crowd of frost moths perches on the roof of the chandleress home. In the faint light of the fault stars above, their idly flexing wings are the color of dirty ice. I daren't light a candle, the chandleress whispers. We can light a candle and wait. Frost moths will come to a lighted candle. They eat candle flames and candle wax alike, and they won't balk at biting anyone who interferes. Take care. Or we can ask the chandleress about the rat catcher's traditions. Why won't they hunt flying things? That is a good question. Let's start with trying to deal with the problem directly. You've dealt with them successfully. A dozen frost moths lie in a welter of broken wings on the ground, gradually melting into pools of dirty water. The grateful candle maker pays you in kind, so they melt into pools of water. I guess they are literally made of frost. And she paid us in lamplighter beeswax. Excellent. And let's see if we can convince her to tell us why hunters don't usually hunt flying things. I know we're not particularly persuasive, haven't invested much in it, but hey. A horde of supposition. They say they smell of Eden. Rat catchers are superstitious, religious even, and they have something. Have you noticed how many of their queries lair under churches? Have you noticed that they tear pages from the Bible for luck? The good book is an uncertain guide down here, but the church is working on that. Anyway, they say that the rat catcher who kills a flying thing will never taste the airs of heaven. She makes a face. For all I know, they're right, but it doesn't help me. Okay, interesting. Back to the department. A belch of flame. Fire rises from the riverside foundries as you return to the department. For just a moment, the air is bright around you. Claim bounty for dead rats. This returns Rosty Gold for rats. It's 11 Rosty Gold for 10 rats, and this takes a whole 5 actions to turn in. So if you have a lot of rats, it's worthwhile. You get enough of a return, but otherwise, I don't bother. And now that we've kind of just done our playing around, we've got to start with making our name. Contract a worryingly large rat. Once you've proven your abilities, you can take on a department contract. We're down to 6 actions, so I'm not sure that we'll be able to complete this in this episode, but we'll get as far as we can. A rat, but a rat of frankly offensive size. A number of them came ashore in the wreck of the Matilda Briggs. This one has been making a nuisance of itself up and down Bugsby's Reach, attacking terriers, carrying off small children. Can you sort the damned thing out? Alright, let's see what we can do. Hunting across London. Track your quarry. When the opportunity arises, strike. Reduce quarry confounded thing is hiding to find it. If you can reduce its savagery as well, the final battle will be easier. Options. We can search for traces. Where does it prowl? What spoor does it have? If its wariness rises too high, this will become impossible. I can also expose myself as bait. Perilous? Certainly. But would you be a hunter if you were so afraid of a little bracing peril? Well, I suppose not. Let's give it a shot. A sighting. It shouldn't have shown itself. Its eagerness will betray it. Let's do it again. Nothing to see. You're proceeding by a process of instinct and elimination. Slowly, slowly. So that one, it gave us a lot less credit because we actually failed the check, but it didn't actually hurt us, so I will do that again. A sighting. It shouldn't have shown itself. Its eagerness will betray it. You know where the rat is lairing. It uses the sewer entrance to come and go. Your path is clear. Unfortunately, it's only natural that vermin monsters nest in places that those of good breeding should choose not to go. But it's a dreaded nuisance. We could lay poisoned bait, but that would require us to have a flask of abominable salts, which we do not, and I don't really feel like pursuing. I think we can take it on in a fair fight. On. This reeking labyrinth is almost 2,000 years old. In places, you can still make out Roman brickwork, mingled with that of still older cities, ones that were here before the bazaar took London. The rat is down here somewhere. Ah, so London isn't the first place to be brought down here by the bazaar. A rat in a sewery maze. They say there are 7 labyrinths in London. Does this count as one of them? It's not very grand. The air is ripe with primordial stenches, and you may need a new pair of boots. Where is that wretched beast? Our options are to shoot it the moment you see it. The tide will rise soon. You don't want to be trapped down here. That will complete the bounty and make our name in unlocking further stories. Or we could pass up on the contract and explore its lair thoroughly before it returns. Who knows what you might find? I mean, probably you'll find rat dung and half-eaten children, but you never know. Just be out of the sewers before the tide comes in. So we're here to make our name, we're here to kill this rat. Maybe another time we'll do a check for loot in a rat's lair, as I believe this adventure will be repeatable. A bullet between the eyes. Good God, it's a big one. There's no way you'll be able to drag it back to the surface. You are faced with the unpleasant task of deciding which part of the rat you should cut off in order to prove your kill. We will gloss over the details of that process. You have enough to satisfy the department. Returning to the department, you've dealt with the beast. Now claim your reward. You can't be rid of this sad and stinking flesh soon enough. Not quite its weight in Rosti gold. A grinning functionary counts the Rosti gold out in the currency of a long-extinct city. 100 hearty thank yous. I cannot tell you just how much I dislike rats. I wonder sometimes if I should find other employment. You know, maybe. So many rats in this city. I hear London had rats above. Well, perhaps so, but it can be as nothing to this tide of festering cunning that daily assails us. The department will not rest until every rat in this city has been converted to leathery trophy skin. They clearly have an inclination to optimism. We got paid in 200 pieces of Rosti gold, this red metal. Traditionally, you're paid in this if you kill something. Note, may not contain actual gold. A rambunctious celebration. A gaggle of eradication contractors await you on the department steps. You're one of us now, grins a one-legged hunter, her skin crisscrossed with scars. Come and get drunk. We can decline, because we've no interest in making friends, we're here to work. I'd know about that. Buy their drinks, and listen to them reveal their secrets. Wear your best smile. Learn from their mistakes. Or prove yourself. Outdrink, outfight, and outboast them. Or lead them to a church instead. Eradication is a dangerous business. It's wise to keep your soul clean. Well, screw that. Definitely gonna go with they're here to have a good time, I'm here to have a good time, we're just celebrating a good kill. I don't want to be all Machiavellian or holier than thou. Today you got the rat. Tomorrow maybe the rat gets you. You drink square-jawed under the table, and out-wrestle Spatchcocker Meg. The Medusa's head cheers your bravado. Someone deploys a piano. Feet stamp, jackets whirl. You dance with an experienced monster hunter who wears a knife of luminous bone at his hip. His eyes are dark as the belly of the Z. And that has begun to build our reputation as a monster hunter, and we'll unlock a new round of stories in Watchmaker's Hill. That is all the energy we have today. We're going to go ahead and close down for the evening, take some rest, maybe read a couple of tips about what's going on in this odd city before we lay down for the night. We've got this nice little information box over here with some random, bits and things that we might hear about town, either bits of lore or just all kinds of things. There's a lot. We've got the Stervling Ket. The Stervling Ket. The Stervling Ket. What did it find in the oubliette? Kind of funny to get this one first. The Starveling Cat is a creature in a fallen London that has a great many similar little lines about it. Kind of fun just to see one of the variant ones that breaks the usual pattern. We've got what are the Clay Men? The Clay Men are cheap, strong, contented immigrant labor imported en masse across the Untersee. The Untersee being the underground ocean that London is at the coast of. Are they really clay? Well, that's a very personal question. They don't ask you if you're really meat. And the Starveling Cat. The Starveling Cat, louder than a dog, taller than a rat. Okay. What is the House of Chimes? The House of Chimes is an exceptional place for exceptional people. Mr. Chimes guards the door closely. He has particular standards. It's a cute little area for people with the Exceptional Friendship Program. There's not a whole lot there that's super important, although at some point we may swing by just to see what's going on. The Starveling Cat. The Starveling Cat. The Starveling Cat. It likes your bones. It prefers your fat. Alright, well, now that we've established ourselves in a couple parts of town, I think that we can call it a day, and we will see you next time with a full day's worth of energy and lots of vim and vigor to go take on this city. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.